Well, hello, boys and girls, and welcome back to the Summit 3 America. Phase 2, we're in Day 3 action, and our second series today. It's going to be Team eHUG taking on Boreal Esports, another elimination match, gods. And, well, yesterday we saw Boreal, the team that also made it with Void Boys through Phase 1. They were very impressive. They upset. They took down Merlini's stack along the way, and then I believe Pain Gaming. Okay. They had the unfortunate matchup of taking on Team EG yesterday. It was a stomp, as many expected to see, but here they are, now fighting for their life against eHUG.
And who did eHUG lose to? Who knocked them down?
Who took eHUG down? That's a good question, actually. Who is left? I'm not thinking. I think it might have been not today. Actually, it looks like they lost to Complexity. 2-0. Okay. Complexity beat them, so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here we are. We're going to have a matchup now, and both these teams, you know, obviously had a lot of questions thrown my way. Who the hell is playing on eHUG? And, you know, I guess that's a justified question. This team's roster has changed up quite a bit. The more... It was Infinity and MJW. They are the tried and true eHUG members. You know, they were on the Infinity +4 squad that won the eHUG tournament to get them on, technically, the sponsorship to be eHUG. And then for a while there was Trauf and Yawar, and then that got slipped up, and now here we are. We got a couple of stand-ins here. Pandago from the first rendition of eHUG.
Yeah, that's right.
Back in the day with Ryu Boras and I'm a Sheep Sucks and all that. Even Jiggle Billy was on the team for a little bit. Oh, man. So he's back. Raise your eHUGs, I guess, for him. Crit, who is like a playing renegade, if you will. He's been on every team ever. If you look at his Dat Dota, it's like a huge resume. MYM and... He's been all over the place. And then Sorrow, who we now know is Corey from Team Zephyr / Stay Free from back in the day. Currently your top GPM world record holder in Dota 2 on Alchemist, the old school Alchemist. So, okay, there is your bit of history. Boreal have been kind of with their roster for a while now. But we don't know. Yesterday they got hit pretty hard, so we're looking to see if they can shake it off and kind of make a bounce back here. I'd say they're the slight favorites given that they have a bit more time and experience playing together, but eHUG individually are very talented players.
Yeah, I think eHUG probably a bit more recognizable names. I don't even want to say like they've got the more like individual talent, because some of these Boreal players have individual talent that you maybe haven't heard of them, like 747 as mid lane. He kind of got outclassed by Arteezy yesterday, but I've seen him in other games do ridiculously well, so I think the individual talent's there, and I agree. I think they may be slight favorites. They got crushed yesterday, but hey, you just chalked it up to reversing EG. Today it's like reversing an eHUG who has been in really bad form, have had constant roster changes. They're going to be feeling pretty motivated to win this series, I think.
Yeah, both these teams have to try to keep their heads up, shake off yesterday's performances as they both got pretty much stomped. So looking to make a comeback here. eHUG having Crit on the team is a Wisp player, so just like yesterday, they led in with a Wisp tiny lineup. It actually did not work out for them. Complexity were one step ahead, and they ended up drafting a Bristleback to go in the mid lane against them, and they even had a Ziz carry Viper. So pretty much the Tiny Wisp could not be a Tiny Wisp. It was a rough time. So they might be looking to do it again. But then again, this time, Boreal one step ahead. They ban out the Tiny. Still plenty of candidates out there to work with your Wisp, but we'll have to see where it goes from here. Boreal get the Lion and the Storm Spirit, and aside from the Wisp on the eHUG, they got Skywrath Mage.
No idea why you'd pick a Skywrath Mage second, though. Like, you know, the Wisp opening is fine. It makes sense. But normally after that, you'd go into like some kind of a core hero. Like picking your two supports means you're not revealing anything, but it's not like Skywrath Mage is like a hugely contested support that acts as an amazing counter to Boreal by any means. You've got no set for Mystic Flare. It's pretty good against Storm with an Ancient Seal, but I mean, at some point like you need a setup to go with the Skywrath Mage Silence, and I feel it's just a weird pick to go second after that Wisp.
Yeah.
No.
You're kind of putting it out there like, here are supports and we don't have many stuns.
Yes.
So that's the other thing to worry about. They have Silence, which can work against Storm Spirit. And, you know, Storm Spirits typically don't like to step off and try to get a BKB or anything like that. So seeing Silence like that could have him falter a bit, but I don't think it's going to be too much trouble. His main focus is probably getting a hold of that pesky Wisp ball and bursting his bubble. But Medusa is going to be the third pick here for eHUG, so going pretty all in with the late game potential. Not your standard Wisp candidate, but you know, can always offer a lot and gives her a lot of sustain.
And yeah, just one of the big Wisp part of it is like who you kind of comboing with like in a mid lane, but then the other half is who you stack in camps for, because Wisp is always on that Radiant side about stacking the big camp with the medium camp, and Medusa pretty good at farming stacks with Split Shot as well as the Mystic Snake. Boreal, though, will snag up one of the better heroes of dealing with Medusa, get the Nyx Assassin, likely to be their offlane hero.
That's a good grab for him. And one thing I didn't see yesterday from Crit, and what I don't see very often from Wisp players, is you do have the ability to pull for the mid lane. You can, you know, on your own, it's a bit difficult. You'd have to hope that RNG's on your side. If you stack the bid camp, let's say on Radiant side, the closest one to base in the mid lane, if you get a troll, it's very easy to pull towards the mid lane with that lingering auto attack aggro. And then you could really take it to the Storm Spirit on the side of Boreal. He doesn't really go for it. I know there's a bit of RNG there, but it can be done if necessary. But here we go. Their next pickup is going to be the Jug. So now you have a Jug Medusa core lineup with your Wisp Skywrath Mage. A bit out of the norm, but it's a Jug. So.
Still 0 stuns as well, which is my biggest concern against the Storm Spirit. Like, silence alone from Skywrath Mage is not really... You can maybe gank him and kill him like at some early levels, but later on it's like your Skywrath Mage is not... You've got no initiator. Like, their offlane has to be some great kind of... I mean, at least some kind of initiation with stun, like a Centaur. Clockwork's like so-so, but I feel like it needs to be something that can get in there to start things off.
Like Centaur, Tidehunter, once you get into Blink Dagger, I suppose. But we just don't see Tidehunter that much anymore. It's definitely not in the American region as well, so we'll have to see if it's something they do end up considering or not. Clockwork, I think, could be one of their next best options. Or maybe a Doom. Doom can suffer in the laning phase, but they could look to go maybe dual lanes with it. Legion Commander seems to be the grab. Somewhat of a stun with her duel, I suppose. And you get the Purge, the heal. That can work with Wisp in conjunction with whoever he's tethered to. A peculiar pick, though. Lately, it seems like they'll pick her up as a niche counter pick to something like a Broodmother, but there she is in all of her glory.
Often, kind of a weak hero outside of being picked as a counter. But I like it that they do get some good, proper lockdown for a Storm Spirit with the Jewel. Something like a Tide Ravage is kind of unreliable, has a long cooldown. The Jewel slightly more consistent, and the primary target will be that Storm Spirit. But still liking the Boreal draft a bit more as a whole. I imagine they're looking for their final support here to go with the Lion, and depending on where they want to run the Nyx. Nyx can be played as a kind of 4-position support as well. You
can do a support Zeus if you want to get funky with your global, I suppose. Yeah. You know, you already have a lot of stun on the side of Lion, though it can feel a bit greedy at that point. Or you can always go safe and pick up a nice defensive support. I don't know, something like a Dazzle could help. Even going against Legion Commander, you just kind of throw out that casual Grave, and she's not getting her dual damage. Dazzle's certainly not. Great. So, yeah.
This is going to be
it is going to be the Zeus. It's global. A global lineup now coming out from Boreal.
Kind of cancel the potential Legion Commander Blink initiation with this.
Oh, yeah.
And just a lot of ways to kind of cause problems for eHUG. You've got global, Spectre, Zeus, and then Storm can ball from far away. Nyx Assassin can kind of go scouting and lead the gank with a Vendetta Impale. This is just a solid all-around draft for Boreal. You can see the synergy between their heroes, and they've got the ways of dealing with the Corian Medusa. They've got mana drain not just from Nyx Assassin, but from Lion. They've got burst damage from Zeus. They've got a late-game carry who can match up in the Spectre. I'm liking their draft.
Yeah, I agree with you. On paper, it just seems to be very synergetic with each other. Something we would commonly see, and they have good counterpoints to take it back to Team eHUG with something like your Nyx there. They have good counter late game with your Spectre, global presence, and good lockdown overall. For eHUG, it seems a bit of a hodgepodge, but maybe their talent and their execution can show that they will be able to compete here. But let's go ahead and lead things off. This is our second series today, another best of 3 elimination series. eHUG taking on Boreal Esports. I'll lead off your introductions here. Checking out Radiant side, it's Team eHUG, or what's left of it, I guess. MJW, he's going to be playing your offlane Legion Commander. This kid plays a seriously good offlane, and he's going to be side by side with Crit, another stand-in who's going to be playing your Wisp. Along the mid lane, we got Pandago, one of the original eHUG members, playing your Skywrath Mage. Sorrow, also known as Corey from Team Zephyr, many people know. He's going to be playing your Medusa. And along the bottom, we got Infinity, who's been pretty much the pioneer of this stack for quite a while now. He's playing your farming Jug. And, looks like, GoDz, we have some aggressive movement coming out from Boreal here.
Yeah, they're just running right up the ramp there with their 5-man, deciding they're a bit stronger and they can scare eHUG away from the top rune. They're going to walk at MJW. Oh, that was what, 4 heroes in that?
Yeah. It's a little chunk of damage.
Damn.
Just, hi, how you doing?
Also gets him up to like max movement speed practically.
All right, well, he's going to be able to scare him back right here.
Enters Boreal. Well, we've got a second. Well, maybe not. 10 seconds. Here we go. Zwan going to be playing the support line. We've got Willers on the offlane. Nick Susie going to be going on the Storm Spirit mid. Dewey going to be playing the support Zeus, and that leaves Tiburon playing the safe lane farming Spectre. Double bounty rune for eHUG.
That means they win.
Take that as tribute.
I don't know. I keep trying to remember the stat. It's like 60-something% you win if you get both runes. Not a huge boost, but Wisp is happy because it's a free bottle, so he definitely needs to get that first bounty rune. And then they get a little bit of extra something else here for your Jug in the bottom lane. Half a level, 100 gold. Not too shabby.
My favorite thing about casting Pandago, they've got the good old Elgato Courier rocking it.
Oh, yeah?
Radiant side.
Where is it at?
At the top lane.
Oh, it's going towards that
bottle. Bring out that bottle.
Wonderful stuff.
Good guy, Pandago, man.
The old school BTS little courier. Not the chirpy, though. He's got to get on that. But, yep, all right. So, off-lane matchup here for Boreal. Willie's just kind of going toe-to-toe with Infinity. No one nearby to zone him back. Skywrath Mage, you know, he's prioritizing the pull equilibrium. Some could argue that he's one of the best zoners in the game, so you might as well take advantage of that. But it can be hard to zone back a Nyx. A simple pop of the Carapace, and that Skywrath Mage is eating a bit of his own damage. So, I guess it could be a bit frustrating there. He just puts more value in being able to keep the... you know, creeps back at the tower, make things easier for Infinity. Yeah, going for the pulls, the double pulls, and Infinity, especially if he picks up like a Quelling Blade early on, can last it pretty decently underneath his tower, although does take a bit of damage here from the Nyx Assassin, so not going to be the easiest lane for him, and they're not going to be able to completely zone out the Nyx here. He's already going to have his level 2, so he's got points in the Impale, and probably the Carapace as well at that point. Looks like Corey, who will be on your mid lane Medusa, probably not going to be seeing a lot of kills from him in this lane, just looking to plant himself and find that bits of farm. We could be seeing him here for quite a while with ancient stacks happening on the side, but already he has to be toggling the shield up. An early bit of burst coming out from 747, and in the off lane, your dual lane set up with your Wisp, who's working with the side pull here, so this will be an easy grab to get these creeps back for MJW, because they're pulling on the other side for Boreal, and that's Juan doing that on his Lion here, but he'll look to head back for now. And it looks like Dewey also. He's on creep stacking duty here in the jungle. I anticipate this is for your Storm Spirit to kind of get a quick burst of gold and XP. Yeah, don't really see anyone else that capable of, clearing it, so just give that farm later to the Storm Spirit. The top dual lane is kind of pesky for Boreal. The Spectre not getting the farm you'd kind of want for your safe lane farmer. Having this Wisp Legion, there's some kill potential there, especially with MJW picking up the Orb of Venom. Once he gets boots, there's even more risk here of kills potentially happening, so... Boreal are playing fairly defensively, knocking the best farm in the top lane, but also trying to make sure that they don't give up any kills. Yeah, they can afford to get a bit risky here, too, with the Wisp having a bottle. He'll be right there by the side, though I'm sure Boreal will look to keep that Wisp in check. Just going to be hard early on. The Wisp needs to make sure he's also close enough. Got to get that XP. You want to get towards that relocate. But in this kind of a game, your relocate ganks, I suppose he's just going to be by the side of MJW through and through. I mean, being able to set up a duel across the map is very potent in itself. And you can get some early burst of bonus damage and transition to a core in the late game very nicely. Tries to go for the pull here, but it's a bit short on the timing. Big stack over here, though, for either side if they're able to take it down. I'm not sure who's going to be actually getting their hands on that one. No one. MJW, I guess, with the overwhelming odds is maybe your best bet. But. That and the Wisp and his Spirits definitely could be done. Yep. So maybe they'll look to do that. That's a bit of side farm. But Dewey's also here, and he's like, what the hell's happening here? We got a lot of stacks from both sides. So far, all three lanes, though, the farm CS advantage going the way of eHUG. So a pretty sizable laning stage advantage for them. We talked about liking the Boreal draft like as a whole, but they've got to get to that stage where they can fight using the synergy between their heroes. Yeah. And right now, the laning stage has not gone too favorably. Not good. I mean, you just compare the offlane setup here. Willie's on the Nyx Assassin, 4-0 CS, level 3, trying to get to 4. And the dual lane setup for eHUG here, MJW, who's the prominent offlaner, as he goes for the 4-minute rune. He is 20-1 CS, and he's also about level 3.5. So he's definitely getting the most out of his laning experience here. Looks like Pandago's able to snag up a regen rune on the bottom. Sees Nyx trying to head that way, and will poke at him a bit, but does have to be careful, because here comes 747. Uh-oh, Pandago Luckily, Storm Spirit not level 6 yet, but he is eating a lot of damage. And there's not enough mana, but gotta go for the deny. Oh God, it's not happening, Pandago. Sorry. It's gonna be Willies picking up your first blood for Boreal.
That's important. They had almost a 2k gold lead before that, just from farm and last hitting alone, as well as the bounty runes. But that was a huge 4-minute gold lead, considering your team has no kills, no towers. Top lane, Spectre maybe in some trouble here. Gonna miss the Impales one. Oh boy.
Whoops. Can't have that happen.
Could have maybe gone for the dive there with the Impale on cooldown. I think MJW maybe could have found it with the Wisp backing him up, but he even has the point of the overcharge, so I guess you're worried about where the other support is, the Zeus, but he's off pulling and stacking.
Okay, and now it's Pandago and Crit who want to go on a little bit of an adventure here. Oh, they cross paths. There's going to be Dewey. Now he couches out the Lion. He's welcomed with a stun. Dewey's there, but doesn't want to pull the trigger on any sort of burst. And it looks like Pandago will pull away. But they're kind of keeping this top lane in check and forcing Tiburon to play a bit more cautiously on the Spectre. And this is not the early boost you want to have. You're trying to get some easy, secured CS so that you can really look to thrive. Because the late game on the other side is Corey, and he's at 33 and 7 CS in this mid lane. He is beating the Storm Spirit as it is right now.
It's actually a kind of tough matchup for a Storm, just because whenever you go in to try Remnant creeps, you're likely taking a Mystic Snake, or you can kind of time the Mystic Snake so it catches Storm towards the end, deals his mana, does a lot of damage, so it's not exactly an easy or fun matchup for Storm.
Making a move on the Lion here. Eating some damage from the Spirits, and will go down. Nice nuke follow-up from MJW. He might get a twofer here. Oh, gets the proc, but not enough.
This is a bootsless Zeus. I think you just go for that MJW, man. Stop showing mercy here.
Yeah, he's playing very safe right now.
You got Treads and a Tether Wisp behind you, man. Got a man up.
He's
got one kill, but
yeah, that's...
It's a Spectre as well. Like what's a level 4 Spectre with no mana going to do? There wasn't even a Spectral Dagger available. I'm really surprised how defensively that... Okay, actually, no, to be fair, there is a Storm with a TP scroll, so maybe he's gotten word from... Medusa probably told him that Storm has a TP, so I'm going to cut him some slack.
It's true.
That's probably why he played a bit more defensively.
He always has that nice bit of perk. He can always put the attack onto the Wisp while tethered to him, and he gets the double benefit from the heal, but yeah, looking to kind of really hang on to that safety net just in case. But look at this. Now he's able to pressure the tower. Tiburon's just forced to sit on the sidelines and watch, being nerfed down. He's able to soak up at least to level 5. Maybe once he gets that level 6 together, they can really begin to start showing what they can do with this global setup. But that means these supports also need the time to farm. Right now we see Lion getting some solo XP in the mid lane while Storm Spirit's farming up that big juicy stack they had on the side for him. So he's going to be about level 8 once this finishes, and now we could see Storm Spirit look to kind of start creating new space and new attention for Boreal.
Yeah, he'll get his treads off of that and probably start working towards the soaring.
They wanted Pandago, but Willies misses the stun. Could have been a lost opportunity, and now he gets Omni Slashed. That is not what we wanted to do. Had that stun connected, would have been a whole different story, but Pandago lives on, walks away, and an unfortunate flub right there for your Nyx assassin.
eHUG are crushing this early game. I mean, Boreal are going to be just thanking their lucky stars they actually got that first blood on the Nyx earlier, because if not for that, things would be even worse right now. 747 comes back mid with the high ground overlord, sees Corey here, but treads Ring of Aquila. They just don't have the damage to bring him down unless they bring at least 3 heroes, probably even more. Nyx is maybe going to make a move back. He's got Vendetta up in 10 seconds and possibly headed towards the Medusa at mid.
Yeah, that has got to be high priority for them, and they definitely have the lockdown now. If Lion hangs out nearby, you lead out the front with 747.
There's a dual top lane, and JW went in.
First one, do they have enough burst to take him down with the damage? No, but they could still finish off the Spectre. Yeah. Big grab for MJW and Crit here in the top lane. Now they really need to get something done. Boreal looking to go on forward. Willies has Vendetta already popped. Corey sees the action come forward there. He shows himself. Now, yeah, I mean, that's just a lot of hate onto your Medusa. Corey really has no option. Maybe a TP to come in, but even then, they still don't have the stun. So Corey goes down. Boreal are able to strike back with something.
Yeah, I guess close to an even trade towards the end there, but the kill on the Spectre is just really making it hard for Boreal. Spectre about at level 6 may look to even get involved as far as trying to use that haunt to find some pickoffs. You've gone for early magic stick, phase boots. These are kind of at least your basic ganking items to go with your Spectre. And Storm having, well, now a soaring as well, could be looking to set things up.
The nice thing though for eHUG is MJW has almost a blink dagger already. So
that is scary. He's
off lane LC. is going to be able to set things up across the map. And for Crit, who's also level 6, we have Relocate ready to go. This was the point of the game where we're expecting Boreal to be able to really start turning things up now that Storm Spirit has got his ball lightning at the ready, and Nyx Assassin with the Vendetta. But at the same moment, eHUG now have a lot more options here as far as the fights they can take and how they can set everything up.
The biggest problem for Boreal seems to have been the fact they picked this support Zeus. It didn't have any laning presence against a Wisp dual lane, so it was like a Lion Spectre versus a Wisp LC top lane. Zeus was spending all this time kind of stacking the neutrals, which was nice, and it felt like top lane needed that second support to have that kind of numbers advantage there. Although, at the same time, it's a Zeus, so there's only so much he could offer in a 3v2 setup, and
yeah,
it just feels like eHUG kind of took advantage of this Zeus support pick. And Boreal haven't really gotten much out of the Zeus. It managed to stack some neutral camps, get the Storm a bit of farm, but any support could have done that, and then you could have had a support that could also offer some pressure and ganking potential, which Zeus doesn't have.
Looks like possibly a little bit of lag or something here. A pause does come out from Boreal here, specifically Tiburon, as he needs another moment. But yeah, a nice thriving early game coming out from eHUG here. It's starting to shape up, and with late game building up a lot of early economy here in your Corey, Medusa. As long as this just kind of goes along with their storyboard, I don't think there's anything that can really stop them. But it's going to be early on. Boreal's best chance is really to thrive in that mid game when they can take advantage of that whole global get up. But you got global on the other side with that relocate as well. So this is going to really what determines the rest of this game.
Yeah, there's always that threat of maybe counter. Even if you find someone alone, suddenly there's a Wisp plus LC, and they're no longer alone.
Yeah.
So, especially I'm taking Medusa. If you think Medusa's alone and try and go on her, she takes so long to bring down, it may not work. Here's the Blink Dagger. MJW gonna be looking for a kill here. It's hard to burst anyone down with just the Wisp, and with a smoked up Skywrath behind, this can give that extra bit of needed damage.
Here we go.
There we go. Yep.
Yep, jump in, leads in with the nuke. This time might be able to get him down for the damage. Got it. First successful duel, but look at this TP coming in from 747. They get the return kill. Can they get Pendago as well? He's silenced, but there's Dewey right behind with the lightning bolt to finish him off. So that was a startup from eHUG to get that good duel setup, but man, mid lane now. It's Corey in trouble. Stuns there. Lion actually almost goes down, and he's on the run back. No more mana to work with. He's going to be fine, but still, it's Boreal who get the best of it with that counter initiation in the top lane.
Getting a bit too aggressive, maybe. They're not respecting that. So they were doing so earlier where they didn't die for those kills, but now it's like, oh, I've got to blink, it's a short kill. But yeah, it's a short kill, but there was no real escape plan. As eHUG give up a couple of key kills towards the Storm as well as the Zeus. Zeus now approaching level 6. They are creating space for Infinity to get his farm at bottom lane, and he's going to be pressuring this tier 1 tower with a newly purchased Mask of Madness.
Yeah, that's the thing, is it may be on numbers that eHUG could have lost more, but this Juggernaut being able to free farm and the fact they took down the Spectre of all people, I think is pretty good here for eHUG. So if they're not too shaken up from what happened there at the top lane. This Storm Spirit, though, is probably going to be looking to really big the powerhouse in the mid game for his team, so that way Spectre can simply slam down that haunt and be able to get involved and build up some extra farm from it. But eHUG do have a better Roche lineup as well. They know that. Maybe that's why they're looking to kind of bring down this tier 1 on the bottom lane, then look to go for the tier 1 mid next. Without those access points being around, it makes it a lot easier for them to kind of sneak in and grab that Aegis. But for now, Infinity just kind of goes back to the jungle. We'll continue to farm up there. After already just purchasing that Mask of Madness, he suddenly has 1k gold. So he's really farmed.
They just got 2 towers, top lane and bottom lane. One was denied, but it's still map control lost for Boreal, and it's still gold in eHUG's pockets, so they're not going to be too concerned about the 1 tower deny, and it just opens things up to find more kills and ganks around the map. Speaking of ganks, bottom lane.
Yep, there's going to be the Vendetta. Tries to go for the stun, even though the spin was already there. Willie's not a good start for him right now. Probably going to look to shake it off. Oh, Infinity's like, maybe I can get him from the high ground with an Omni Slash. Relocate to the low ground, buddy, go! Oh, not going to be able to do it. That would have been pretty spastic right there. But hey, kill's a kill, I suppose. And it's not going to be a successful gank coming out from Boreal here in the bottom lane. And Infinity will go right back to his farm.
Boreal need to try and use this line finger as soon as possible. Something most teams, when they have the line, as soon as they get level 6, will smoke up or at least look for that pick off. And I don't know what Zwan's doing here at the bottom lane, to some extent, but he's now just going to end up farming and like showing himself in lane, which you don't want to do with a level 6 line. You want to get that Finger of Death on cooldown as soon as possible, just because every finger should be a kill.
Oh man, though, they have a dual and Mystic Flare combo if they want it, but he can't get the blink off because of all the damage coming out, and they actually turn it around. They grab Pandego, take him down. They're going for MJW next. It shouldn't take too much effort here, but here comes backup in the form of the relocate. Moving on in, immediate Omni Slash comes out from Infinity, and they still can't get anyone from Boreal down. Now they got to get the hell out of here. Crit's got to go. He's got 3 seconds, but Infinity is going to be blasted right there. And that ends up being a 3-for-none trade at what started as an expedition from MJW and Pandego.
Yeah, Storm got so much out of that as well. And the Spectre. Both of those two getting like 600 gold, ton of experience, a lot of good levels, and just really good defensive play. Just the positioning in those trees. They couldn't get the vision for the jewel, and then the Haunt comes out, cancels the blink, and gives the vision needed. And sure, LC doesn't... They go in the Skyreth as well, so if LC duels anyone, he doesn't have the Mystic Flare damage to get any kills. So it's just smart play and decision-making all around from Boreal. You can see the potential of their lineup really starting to come in now. Even with a bad start, their lineup just synergizes so nicely.
Very determined, though. eHUG want to make the most out of this dual setup from MJW while they can. And Pandego, I sure wants to be by his side. That time, maybe they got a little too greedy, went a little too deep without really knowing where Boreal was, so they can kind of make those kind of counter plays. But more pressure towards this mid-tier 1. Getting rid of this would help them out. And being able to maybe make a go at the Roche. Quick D-ward right there in the mid lane. And, well, now it looks like maybe they go for bottom here. Nyx Assassin does have Vendetta, not the easiest target, but silenced up. He's not going to be doing that. Infinity, nope, not going to make the charge towards him. Doesn't have Omni Slash to work with, so just kind of bullies this Nyx Assassin out from the lane.
Let's see, eHUG now kind of group up towards the mid lane. It's kind of a bit too early for them to really be grouping up too much. You've got a Yasha on your Medusa, so just your basic starting items here, but Boreal going to be looking to gank again soon, I imagine. The Vendetta's back up, the Storm Spirit close to an Orchid now. We'll have to see if 747 tries to gank before this or just farm the jungle for the Orchid. I feel like the Orchid's good. I mean, it's a big item pickup, but he can still do a lot without one.
Uh-oh. Yeah. The Orchid might be put off if he gets caught. Oh, blink, and the ball lightning out the same moment. Proves to be pretty slippery here, but they do plant down a nice little obs ward here, so they'll get that bit of aggressive vision, so maybe a relocate setup in the near future, or overall just kind of keeping Boreal in check when they're trying to just jungle farm. But here we go, back towards mid lane. MJW comes out from behind, but they do scout out. Willie's here. Ultimate flies out. Big jump in onto Infinity. He gets blown up. The duel on return, trying to take down Storm Spirit, gets him down. Bonus damage going to be awarded here for MJW. He gets healed on up here from the Wisp, and now they're going to get a double. Corey, the Medusa, picks up both of them. Huge bonus right there for eHUG. That secures this lady. I mean, that's the thing. Can't sleep on this Medusa. May not have been involved for a lot of the fights till now, and she has really been thriving. Now they try to add a little bit of pressure towards the tier 2, but they will walk away with their winnings.
There's a killing spree on the Storm Spirit as well getting ended, so some bonus gold there going Corey's way, and just nice little fight for them that they found there. It looked like Boreal just maybe getting a bit too overconfident around there. It's been the first time eHUG were really grouped up as 5 and used the Stone Gaze and everything, so good fight for them, despite losing their Juggernaut at the start of it.
Looks like Crit will find himself a little Invis Rune on his Wisp, and he gets his Urn. Great pickup for a Wisp. Obviously can utilize it best than almost anyone else in the game. Maybe next to Oracle, but for that now, Infinity makes his return to bottom. He's got that good old reliable Yasha here on hand. And we'll have to see as he just continues to make that farm up. But we have Willie's heading that way. He pops his Vendetta, this time looking to catch him with both the strike and the stun thereafter. But he's going at this alone, actually. It looks like
he's got no backup.
Line's not really following him here. So
there's no mana for a Zeus ultimate even, no Spectre Haunt, so yeah, he's off on his own.
Yeah, not going to be happening there. Infinity steps back, will farm through the jungle while the lane's pushed out a little too far. But I can wager that for eHUG, their eyes are on the map here. They have this ward up in the Boreal jungle. Zeus was nearby. If someone crosses over it, I imagine Crit is going to be right by MJW's side to get a quick relocate duel off. So it's very defensive play for Boreal here, while eHUG can really get the most out of the map, at least for now.
Yeah. It seems eHUG and just have this efficient jungle farmer in the Juggernaut. Yeah, your Storm's kind of trying to do the same in the jungle a little bit, but you're not farming as fast as a Mask of Madness Jug, Quelling Blade, and all that good jazz. So both Spectre and Storm have to share the jungle. Spectre's actually picked up a Vitality booster just for some raw HP here to stay alive in some of these fights and maybe help just make that transition into the big purchase that is the Relic. This pickup, though, will also help create some space. There's your Orchid for 747. Let's see what he can find as far as pickoffs go. Nyx, Vendetta back up, and they may look to kind of team up for some ganks.
Yeah, they need to get as much mileage as they can out of this Orchid while they have a chance, because MJW is on the way towards a BKB. With already 2 of the components complete, 1k gold off about, that Orchid is not going to be as good at stopping MJW from getting these big duels off. But they would love to bring them down a peg as they do head this way towards the top.
Getting spotted up by the Radiant Ward, though,
yeah. So they're creeping in. Pandago, though, is hanging about. Sees it now, but there's going to be the ult. Pandago fires off the silence, and they'll commit onto him. This is going to be a dead Skywrath Mage, plus an extra jump over and below. They thought they can get MJW, but 747 too low on the mana to really keep that chase. Maybe
should have gone for the LC while the rest of the team could easily handle the Skywrath Mage, but yeah, he may have struggled to kill the LC who's got 1500 HP. Back in goes your LC. Top lane gets the jewel on 747.
Relocate as well, right behind, and that's easy damage. Almost didn't even need Infinity there to help out, but yeah, they do get it done. Now they look for Dewey. Here's Zeus trying desperately to run away as fast as possible. Nice little Earth Spike slows him down. There's Burst and the finger. Oh, look like trying to do a quick relocate out. Not going to happen. Now they turn on to MJW. Boreal coming out with a big kill there as they take down both the Jug and the LC. Big money their way.
Yeah, suddenly Spec gets like 2.2k gold off of that. Is starting to get some catch up towards the Radiant Core. It's still a good ways away from this Medusa who's got Manta 1600. Corey is just doing what he always does. Gets a ton of farm. Very efficient, and he's also being somewhat involved in the fights when the fights have come to him around that mid lane. But for now, he's going to sit back.
Smoke now purchased on your line, Boreal. With those kind of winnings, they want to keep that momentum going out, finding their gank setup while they got it. Blink Dagger on your line certainly makes things a lot easier. Always at least has his arcane boots and now his own Blink Dagger. So Blink boys online here for Boreal. Yeah, a lot of good setup, a lot of good lockdown now. And now you can afford to even have people waiting behind and maybe even bait out relocate duels. And then you can turn things around pretty damn fast. They certainly have the easy burst potential to do so. I mean, imagine an incoming MJW and crit Wisp. They just blow up the Wisp, stop the duel from happening with a quick stun, and next thing you know, it's Boreal who'll get the best of it here. So,
and their draft is definitely being kind of put together very largely to deal with the Wisp, because often there'll be like a carry farming and kind of crazy position with a Wisp hiding in trees ready to relocate him out, but with a Zeus ultimate, a Spectre ultimate, you just find that Wisp, and then suddenly you found the Wisp, you stop the relocate, and that carry who thought they had a relocate out is stranded. So like maybe a Medusa farming alone with a Wisp behind is never going to be safe, even with the Wisp sitting there, because of how easily Boreal can find the Wisp.
Really little vendetta here for Willies going off on his mission. See if he can track anyone out here. Just misses.
He's gonna find.
He's like, someone's close. Someone's close here.
And the Radiant Sentry Ward will spot him, though, if they get vision.
Oh, too close.
I don't think they've seen him yet. He was in the sentry range, but they didn't have any obs vision.
Okay, but the whole team is right behind him. They're committed for this one. Go up and around. Oh, man. Both sides pretty close to each other, but now it would be potentially not happening, so they pull back. Tier 1 still standing bottom lane, so they can always make the push happen there. 3k suddenly farmed up on your Spectre to go towards that Relic. Once that Radiance comes online, things get a bit sketchy here for these supports. Blink Initiators even, once that Haunt does come out. But on the other side, you always have that Medusa. Quick Stone Gaze could also turn things around here for eHUG. This is the part of the game when there's just a lot of mid-game action and build-up, and ultimately we could see these two Titans clash, the Medusa and the Spectre.
A lot of TPs headed top. They want to go fight this, but the Radiant Observer Ward may scout a lot of this out.
Okay, that stops the blink. They make the go in. Oh, nice. Two-man stun catch right there from your Lion. Finger to burst down MJW. They get crit thereafter. Quick two-man drop. Down and below, though, the rest of eHUG, weak and wounded, have to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, that was just, I think, Zeus ulti and the Spectre ulti getting jugged down to very low with the Mask of Madness on. And nice pickoffs for Boreal.
Haste Rune will be picked up from Corey. Eats the stun, but yeah, has to walk back and away.
Spectre closer and closer towards the Radiance. Now just a couple hundred away from the Relic, and shouldn't be long before we see that Radiance pick up.
He's already doing that kind of damage without a Relic or a Radiance on hand. That is scary here for eHUG, and unfortunately more pressure for Corey to be able to bring this game back for him. If they're not really pulling out all the stops here, I mean, it hasn't quite felt like this Jug has been a big problem, kind of like what we saw in the last series in the hands of someone like Sleesel. Infinity, though, he has the items to flex with. I mean, Manta, Mask of Madness, just hasn't felt like he's been able to really be, dominant.
It feels like they're letting Boreal come to them too much. Like, Boreal are always getting the space to farm, and then when they've got their ultis, they'll go fight and find those kind of pick-offs like they just did. This is a timing where, okay, there's no Spec ulti, no Zeus ulti, no Finger of Death. You should be looking to take a fight if you're eHUG and be the ones initiating. It's so far been mostly Boreal getting initiations off. They're going to make a move into Roshan here rather than try to take a fight, which is another good option with some of these global ultis on cooldown. There is a Zeus ulti, but for the most part, Dewey's been holding on to that and not just spamming it out for vision.
Got the sentry down also just in case there's a certain Nyx assassin trying to come by and snag up that Aegis. So they're well and prepared, and it doesn't look like Boreal have the slightest idea yet that this is happening. I wonder if they'll immediately global the second they see it go down. Nope. They know what happens.
They've got Haunt soon.
Infinity heading right towards bottom. Ooh, nice sidestep from MJW, but Pandego not so fortunate. Could go down immediately. Omni slash flies out. 747 very low. Has to get the hell out of there. And same with Tiburon. They make their run. Zeus unleashes his ult, though. 2 go down on the side of eHUG. For the rest of the cores, though, they still stand strong and maybe make a push happen here on the bottom lane.
Still a good fight for Boreal. They use, I guess, the ultis for the 2 supports, but only losing the Lion there. Still an Aegis on the side of the Radiant, so they may have to give up this bottom tier 2 tower. They actually, play defensively, blink backwards, and I think it's okay to lose the tier 2 tower here just to reset and wait out some of these ulti cooldowns. But at the same time, eHUG, they're kind of low on HP, low on mana. Infinity doesn't want to just throw away this Aegis for nothing. He's going to wait for some of these supports to respawn.
Yeah. So eHUG pull back. They do lose more from that, but they still have that Aegis in hand. Ooh, nice little blink grab. Sorry, that's my Invis rune now. Boreal ping it out. They have a Zeus, though, so as long as they kind of keep him in check. He hasn't been able to really go on much further here with his duel. Still has 30 bonus damage built up, but it's proven to have been much more difficult. Okay, immediate duel here. Relocate to come. They call it out. Stone Gaze being popped out from Corey here. Catches out the Nyx, and now the Lion. Oh, man, they can clean up these supports if they want. Oh, they can't quite get them.
They haven't got them. Great 4-star pushing the Spectre back to safety, and great chain. Like, the Impale catches one from the Lion. The Nyx's Impale catches another couple. Like, that was just good defensive play to keep Spectre alive.
Lots of good stuns from Boreal's side. We question where the stuns are going to be even on the side of eHUG, and it just shows that might be a problem. You make these big jump-ins, but you can't stop them from getting away. Once you get stunned, you just have to see your precious little wounded animal walk away.
And you can lock down one with the Jewel. If you go on the if you're trying to initiate and kill a Spectre, Stormstreet has free reign in a team fight to do whatever he wants.
He's going to have even more free reign soon. He was building up towards a BKB. It looks like, he's got the Ogre clubs. He's got the money for the hammer. He actually buys it right there. So once he gets a BKB, he can definitely do as he wants. Right now, it's like, ooh, got to make sure you don't get caught with that quick silence from Pandego, and then they could just turn on him. But once BKB's there, then he can do as he pleases. But here's a smoke movement from Boreal. They're heading towards enemy territory, but there's not going to be anyone there. eHUG are on the other side of the map. They have eyes for Spectre. There's going to be the blink jump and duel.
Unfortunately,
Spectre, Mystic Flare follow-up. Look at the dispersion, though, damage on the MJW. He gets quickly saved, at least to the backside. Infinity caught with the stun. And Willies will have to pull back and away. So a successful gank movement there from eHUG.
That was a tough one, because Boreal had 4 heroes smoke going into the Radiant jungle looking to start a fight, with the Spectre being the one who was going to horn in, but eHUG finding the Spectre, and there's no way to save a Spectre. You TP in, but the Spectre's already dead, so that was just kind of a bit of misfortune, and just eHUG being in the right place at the right time to find that pick off on an unprotected Spectre. If the 4 heroes were sitting behind Spectre, they counter-initiate with Impales, and the same thing as mid happens with Boreal finding kills, but not the case.
They'll get their tier 2 top lane to eHUG. More gold in the pocket for everyone here. Corey goes with a Lincoln Sphere on his Medusa. Don't see that a whole lot often. Seems a lot more situational. I mean, it helps against this lineup, but I feel like Boreal also have plenty of options on popping the Lincolns.
Yeah, there's plenty.
But she does benefit from a lot of the other things from it, of course. Stats, mana regen, etc. No big damage quite yet, but he has plenty of time to build into that.
Yeah, it just means the Nyx can't just run at you and just spam that mana burn unless they've broken it with like a Arc Lightning or something from a Zeus, but Zeus has to be pretty careful with his positioning in these fights. So Boreal gonna almost have that BKB on Spectre, on the Stormstreet here. Spectre gonna just kind of look to recover after that death there. It is still a bit of a gold lead going eHUG's way. With Medusa getting as farmed as she is, it does feel like maybe one more big Medusa item and eHUG can just try and 5-man around. They won't have an Aegis anymore, but they could maybe take the second Roshan and then look to think about sieging the high ground.
Curious to see here. More BKBs come together now for Jug. All that's done, all that burst we've been seeing so far has definitely caught eHUG's attention that they have to take these defensive precautions here by picking up these items along the way when you know, they'd probably want to go more damage here. Look at MJW. Goes towards the bottom. Blink in. Can't get the duel on Storm Spirit, and he also commits his BKB for this. Quick reaction there from 747. He walks away. But yeah, back at mid lane now. They engage. Pendago. Oh, so much damage for your Birdman. Gets off some nukes before he gets railed over there from 747. Diving way past. Crit could be next to go down. Will be. Pop with the lightning bolt. Omni Slash flies out. 747 gets chopped there at the end. What that RNG. Nice stun and the finger. Eliminates the Aegis life here from your Infinity Jug. And it looks like they'll walk away with that. Storm Spirit ends up going down. They lose both supports from eHUG. A trade you can kind of almost consider a wash at this point because you also have to consider the fact that they did lose their Aegis.
The Aegis was like expiring anyway, so I guess from that it's can't really consider a loss. So probably slightly better for eHUG there. They get the Storm, lose their 2 supports, and now they follow up with a tier 2 tower. They're getting more map control. They're kind of keeping the pressure on Boreal, whose cores just kind of keep on dying. Free stack. Oh, that's pretty nice. Medusa gonna be happy about this.
Yeah. So, don't take in all this sweet bits of gold. Corey's going to have about now over 2K. Very good for your Medusa. Queen of the late game here. I don't know if anything Spectre has to say about it, though, but we'll see as now your BKB is complete on Storm Spirit. He did not have it on hand for that fight, but now he will, and we'll have to see if he looks to really go on the initiative here.
Yeah, the kills keep going Boreal's way, but just looking at some of these CS tallies, the Medusa, Jug have been storming ahead in this game, so... Definitely Boreal spending a lot more time grouped up and trying to take these fights, but not really able to... I mean, their heroes just by nature aren't flash farmers. So Spectre is a much slower farmer.
Sentry Ward dropped. Willies is spotted, and the other Sentry Ward dueled up and dead. Quick and free bonus damage there. MJW pops the BKB for security purposes there at the end. It looks like, as he saw, trouble was a-coming. But that is more damage right now for your Legion Commander. Good Sentry Ward drop right there from Pendago. Don't want to allow this Nyx Assassin to kind of feel free to roam about. And while their attention's on the top lane, you got Corey here creeping in on the bottom. And if they want to make a go on him, that's fine. But Crit is there as a safety net just in case. So a lot of free gold across the map. And as you pointed out, eHUG getting the most of it. But they go on top and they get a kill onto MJW. That's the debut of the BKB that actually did not even need to be used.
Just thinking there were more Boreal heroes bottom lane trying to counter the push there, but MJW getting me a bit too overconfident. He's still looking really good. 58 bonus damage, Blink BKB, 3k gold. He's so far been really on point with a lot of his initiations, and now picks up a Shadow Blade to go with this. Going to force out a lot of detection to be bought. You've got the Zeus, but you're not going to be always spamming the bolts and the ultimate to kind of see him coming in. This is just going to force out maybe a gem or even at least Sentry Ward purchases on the Boreal side. Yeah, that is interesting, going with the Shadow Blade, but yeah, we'll look to get the most out of it. They know that those Sentry Wards are here, as Willies was detected out before, so quick cleanup duty here, and they'll see this one as well. Aha, free 50 gold, boop, they get that. So suddenly all that extra bit of aggressive vision that eHUG had out there is going to be removed, and they just go back to their regular bits of farming for Boreal, but eHUG getting a bit more out of the map right now. What is going to be our next big item pickup here for Corey on the Medusa, though? He's got 4.2k. He is pretty rich. What to buy? What to buy? I'm wondering. Scotty's always kind of solid, but I don't know if against like the Nyx Assassin that's as much of a go-to item. You may even consider just starting to go into some damage. You get like a Maelstrom or Mjolnir type item. It's going to be a Crystallis. So crit the other. There's your damage.
That's just raw damage, yeah. Okay.
You've got enough survivability and stats and all that. Like, if you're getting mana burned and you're getting mana burned, you just want to do as much damage as you can while you're alive. And in theory, you don't want to be dying with the Wisp behind you, but if you get swarmed, having a Skadi is not going to save your life this game. So let's dish out some damage.
Power Tread's now being picked up on your Wisp. He also has that casual cloak. Could always turn it into a pipe. It's a game where you could use a pipe. Why not, right? So overall, just they need that extra bit of meat so that when this burst does fly out, they're not just going to be free food here for Boreal. So not too surprised by that.
Whoa.
Pandago.
Very fast Roche respawn.
Oh, it was, huh? Yeah. Oh, you're right. There he is.
3 seconds or something past the minimum.
All right. Oh, Zeus Ult going to be popped. Immediate TP there. Was that a BKB popped as well?
He was in panic. Well, kind of panic. He saw the Zeus. The Zeus ult is often used to like scatter the hero and then go for a kill. So
That's
I think
true.
he was under the impression they were maybe smoked up bottom lane going for him. So LC 7 seconds to 6 seconds. I don't. It's definitely you'd rather longer BKB, but it's not looking like okay. You need the full 10 seconds to have the best possible chance. You just want BKB during your duel, which is a 5-second duration roughly. So having a 5-second BKB is generally enough for an LC.
Yeah. Better safe than sorry, I guess, for your MJW Legion Commander if you feel like troubles are coming. But now Corey and Crit a little close here to the Boreal squad in their nearby jungle. They'll sidestep that for now. Go right back into farm here. Corey probably looking to flat out finish this Daedalus. He could complete here. Actually just makes a purchase.
Yep. Courier's en route, so.
Whee! Daedalus recipe and then soon the Demon Edge. Big right click coming out now. Boreal, this is one of their biggest tests now when they go into these kind of engagements. Stone Gaze is something you do have to fear, and when this kind of a lineup has so much CC and stun, if they're not looking at the fight, then they're not doing all those spells, and that's when eHUG can really dish out the serious damage. So it's going to be hard for them to really take these kind of engagements. Unless they're able to get the jump on the Corey first and foremost, or at least be able to bait out the Stone Gaze, it's going to be tricky.
The Spectre was a problem for a while, but it feels like since the Radiance pickup, Spectre's become less of a problem almost.
Yeah.
The few times they've tried to fight into Spectre, they've been just killing her with the initiation from the duel. In a team fight, it's going to be really annoying for Crit on the Wisp to stay alive, because Spectre can easily find the Wisp and then just focus fire him down if he wants to, but if Spectre focuses everything there, you're looking okay. An easy Roshan for eHUG now. The Zeus ulti scouts him out. They need to finish this one off fast, but it looks like they will do so in time.
Yeah, Dewey's the first on the scene, but he's just going to get the message right there that it's been done. Casual little nuke there. Willies moves in, but there's a, sentry there. MJW thinks about going for the duel, does. And yeah, meets the same fate we saw previously in the top lane. Just gets caught out. Quick Mystic Flare, easy damage bonus right there for MJW.
They saw these heroes at bottom too.
Yeah, they want it. He's Mask of Madness run. Oh, quick Yules, but look at who's coming in from behind. It's Corey and company. And he gets the kill. Killing spree right now for Corey on the Medusa. Good relocate comes in from Crit as they cut him off at the pass. And now it's 2 down from Boreal.
And I think they may be looking to push in Siege now with Aegis on their side. They're in the position to do so. You want to kind of do it before Spectre gets a few more big items. I think even just the Manta style is not going to be enough. Spectre really needs Manta plus 1 item before she's able to fight. Heroes like a Juggernaut have much more combat-ready items. Even the Medusa right now with this Daedalus and now a point booster is making his way towards the Skadi. Corey, it's just not really a lineup that Spectre can fight into. Spectre wants to go like last into the fight.
Storm Spirit just doing that TP harassment with his Death Ball jump right there. Even though it clears out the creep wave, they're still able to kind of advance forward. No BKB was popped, so Infinity does get hexed. Not enough follow through to obviously do a whole lot thereafter, and plus he has the Aegis. Is this going to be a slow CG from eHUG? No, it's a smoke back. Step back so they can find themselves in a better position.
They may go try catch Spectre with 1 or 2 heroes in a relocate, while they're going to show like multiple heroes mid, and Spectre's going to be like, oh, I'm all safe in my jungle. But here comes your Skywrath. No Manta style yet either. The silence got him.
Yep, I see you farming right there, but here we come. They get the duel. Here comes the cavalry, and they clean them up.
That Skywrath was down to like 30 HP.
That was close. Radiance Burn
They're
plus
trying to
dispersion.
get the relocate back. I don't know if this is going to work.
Okay. Go for it. Jump in. There's Crit. Jump above. Tether back. He gets orchided, but can't get the pull off.
That's a big crit.
That was a big crit. That's a double damage on your Medusa. They're like, oh, we got to get the hell back. He hits like a truck.
And down mid lane we go. You've got no Jug, though. He's off at top lane. Infinity wanted to push things out a bit first before he looked to meet up with his team. But still, Spectre on the sidelines for 35 seconds. Maybe just about to respawn by the time they're kind of ready to start poking and prodding at high ground here. But even without the Jug, Medusa's going to make some Manta illusions and get going.
See if they can maybe even get the buyback out, but no. They move in. Tier 3 in jeopardy here. And they try their best to slow him down. Gets the 1 stun, but there's MJW. Hops and BKB a popped. Dewey's dead. More damage for MJW now up to 112. And now these racks are just going to start getting demolished. Infinity with his Aegis, happy to go confident as ever with his Abyssal Blade. Does get caught. Oh, nice purge. Stops the pull. And he's still going to be fine. Gets healed up now from Crit. This is still him with an Aegis as they clear out the mid lane set of racks.
He's back to full. They
just go bottom and they'll go next. This is the power of the Wisp sustain, rather, with the ward as well from the Jug. There's so much healing power here. Yep. They're not going anywhere. They got the mobile fountain.
They're just executing well. They would at no point in this game did it feel like they made plays like, okay, they've got a Spectre in this game. They were just so confident they always had a lineup which could deal with Spectre, and we're seeing it. They just got to a late game stage with Juggernaut with his items, and Deucer with hers, and just great play from MJW, especially finding good initiation around the map. They just moved smartly, like that pickoff on the Spectre before they went for the high ground push was just really well coordinated. And Boreal here, game one, looking like it may be out of hand.
Yeah, that's 2 racks down. Boreal looking to fight from behind here. Spectre trying to build up the farm. Didn't have to use the buyback, I don't believe, right? Nope. Nope, did not have to use the buyback, but still did go down previously to that, and now the damage has already been done.
10k net worth behind Medusa, like 8k behind your Juggernaut. Spectre can't fight with this big of a farm deficit.
I gotta say, it looked a bit awkward at first with the eHUG draft, but Pandago, their drafter, or at least captain, as far as the drafting screen goes, put together a nice lineup with a lot of sustain, a lot of heal. Makes more sense why they wanted to ban out that AA. Not necessarily just because of the global that Boreal were throwing together, but just because he could have been able to nerf down all this healing potential.
The Legion really pulled everything together. Gave the Skywrath major purpose, like having a setup for the Mystic Flare, and just gave them the lockdown they needed to pose kill threats.
Okay, here we go, though. Might be the final hurrah for Boreals. They pop out the Haunt. They get the kill on the Wisp. He buys back, has a relocate if necessary. Tiburon's in big trouble. Meanwhile, Duel on the 747. He also goes down, and I think this might be it, GoDz. eHUG looking to clean up and end this first match here. Triple kill for Crit. Of all the people, your Wisp comes back from the dead and gets a triple, but now he's dead. That bounty's going to get handed over to 747 as he does buy back for it. But Corey stands his ground with even no more Manda. Starts firing out the right clicks, and the damage is real. Now they go for the last set of racks, and Dewey calls it. First game's going to go to eHUG. What a showing.
Yeah, they've had some kind of roster shakiness, and showing here that they may be playing with some standards and have been kind of constantly switching things up, but they've still got it. They can still take it to some of these other Tier 2 American teams in Boreal Esports. Well, we've seen one of the teams from the qualifiers Phase 1 get knocked out today, and right now, not looking good for the second one.
Yeah, real unfortunate stuff for like a potential Cinderella story for one of those two teams. But it's not over yet. It is a best-of-3 series, and we'll have to see. Very impressive, though, that eHUG were able to get it done without even a stun. So, folks, we'll just go ahead and wrap things up real quick and hop immediately into our next matchup here. I'm KotLGuy, that's GoDz, BTS bringing you the English coverage. We'll be back in just a moment for more Dota action. Don't go anywhere.